Sunday before Lent, Sunday the 14th of February, Valentino's Day. We're looking at In a Light Radiant Cloud. Mark 9, 2-9, Transfiguration Sunday is also what it's called. Before we go on with our gospel reading and our thought, here is the news. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. We're still in this level 4 lockdown thing, so nothing has changed. So as I told you last time, the church has been trusted to stay open. We've been shown that we're safe, that we're using social distancing, sanitizing and that. So we're going to be continuing with our online and offline offerings. Every Sunday there's going to be something happening in one of the churches and something happening online, so you need to keep an eye out for that. We're going round the churches for private prayer in rotation, communion service once a month in the church hall. There'll be interactive online services you can join in with, as well as versions where we put them up and you can sort of work through them yourselves if you're not available on the Sunday morning. That said, there are some new things that we are slipping in. This Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. It's the beginning of Lent. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having a deanery, so that's all the churches in the deanery, quiet day. It's going to be done electronically by Zoom, and it's going to be run by the 3 curates. So Reverend Kerry from Bridgend, Reverend Glenda, our shiny curate here, and Reverend Geraint from my stage are going to offer a reflection each throughout the day. And then they're going to sort of top and tail that with worship. Here's the timings. 10 o'clock in the morning, Reverend Maggie from Bridgend will have a virtual Eucharist. 12:30 reflection 1 on redemption, 3:30 reflection 2 on restoration, 6:30 in the evening reflection 3 rest, and then there'll be an act of worship to finish off at 7 o'clock. It'll all be recorded, so you can go back and watch it later, but wanted to mark Ash Wednesday, give the curates something to do, and so that's the way we're going to do it, a deanery virtual quiet day. Something local then, just breathe. Just breathe. So on the 21st of February, which is a Sunday in the afternoon at 3:30, we're going to have a Just Breathe service. A time of quiet to listen to music, readings and prayers, chance to just come and relax and be still, but in the presence of others, but in a COVID secure, socially distant way. So you're going to have to let us know if you want to come along to that one. It's in the church hall, 21st of February, 3:30 in the afternoon. Experimental service. Just come together and we're just going to breathe. Just going to breathe. So that's services. Secondly, you just need to know, myself and Glenda, always at the end of the phone. You can email us, you can Zoom us, we'll come and stand at your doorstep for a natter. You know, we're happy to keep communicating with you in ways that the laws under COVID allow. There's the Zoom coffee going on, but you don't have to wait for that. If you want to chat, give us a ring. Give us a ring. Yeah? And thirdly, remember that all the things that we do, or the text of the things that we do, are available for anybody that hasn't got electronic means of communicating. So Judy's got a list of people she delivers these talks to every week, and if you know somebody that would like to have the talk delivered, she can email them, or she can print them out and deliver. Let her know. We have gone virtual, and we're going to be virtual for a little while longer, I think, and we've also gone postal as well, but we are here for you. Today's reading then, the little bit of the Gospel which talks about the Transfiguration. Archdeacon Michael is going to read that for us. Here we go.
Jesus took Peter, James, and John and led them up a high mountain. His appearance changed from the inside out, right before their eyes. His clothes shimmered, glistening white, whiter than any bleach could make them. Elijah, along with Moses, came into view in deep conversation with Jesus. Peter interrupted, "Rabbi, this is a great moment. Let's build 3 memorials, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah." He blurted this out without thinking, stunned as they all were by what they were seeing. Just then, a light, radiant cloud enveloped them, and from deep in the cloud, a voice. "This is my son, marked by my love. Listen to him." The next minute, the disciples were looking around, rubbing their eyes, seeing nothing but Jesus, only Jesus. Coming down from the mountain, Jesus swore them to secrecy. "Don't tell a soul what you saw. After the Son of Man rises from the dead, you're free to talk." This is the gospel of the Lord.
Thanks for that, Mike. Archdeacon Mike there reading us Mark 9, 2-9. A little bit of the Bible where we think about the Transfiguration. Right, here's my thought for the week based on what came to mind after I read that the other day. Many moons ago, you may remember this, there was a great TV program called Back to the Floor. It involved somebody high up in a company going undercover to find out what it was like a few levels down on the coalface. Sometimes they were able to keep completely anonymous, and at other times it sort of slipped out that they were in management. But always useful to see how they got on. Invariably, these people found many of the workers doing the best that they could, or sometimes circumventing stupid management ideas. You might have been there yourself, yeah? And they were doing this to keep the company moving on a day-to-day basis, because most people want to do a decent job. The best episodes were where they were taken under the wing of a long-standing employee who just accepted them as a newbie and showed them the ropes. Invariably during the workday chatter, the sort of issues would come up, and then at the end of the show, at the end of the program, sometimes the long-standing employee would be called to head office. And they were usually bemused at this, and sometimes a bit fearful. But when they saw the newbie again, but this time behind the head office desk, it was always priceless TV. You could see their brains going, "Oh, you are not really a newbie. You really are the managing director," light bulb moment. Sometimes it then becomes difficult to watch as we view a boardroom meeting where the top kipper now has got first-hand information of what it's like back on the floor and of what the policies and procedures are doing to the company. It's again great telly as you see some of the middle managers being gently found out for not having told the full story in the past. Now, that moment of realization when the chap you were yesterday trying to show how to use a mop properly is now having a cup of tea with you at an oak desk in his top floor room, that light bulb moment, I think that is the best worldly comparison I can think of to help us understand what is going on in the gospel reading today. By way of reminder, Jesus spent 3 years with his disciples, and in these 3 years he picked out 12 to be his close group of apostles. He taught them by example how to be everything that they could be. So they were sent out on missions to preach the good news and to heal people while they were at it. Jesus gave them power and authority to be able to do what he asked of them. And within this dynamic, he also had 3 of the apostles who were his close confidants, Peter, James, and his brother John. Occasionally, these three would be privy to things that they weren't when they were in a group of 12. One of those things was what has become known as the Transfiguration, the little bit in today's Gospel. Now, the chaps went up a mountain to pray. That's how it started, which I guess they'd done a number of times together. But this time, something really weird happens. Jesus starts glowing whiter than anything they've ever seen. You know, Daz doorstop challenge, that kind of thing. Along with that, Elijah, a long gone prophet, is seen standing next to Jesus, along with Moses, again, who was long gone. It was like time had stopped, and we got to look at things behind the scenes for a few minutes. Moses was born 1400 BC. Elijah was born 900 BC. And Jesus, as we know, was born around 2 BC. Yeah, we got it wrong. 2 BC. And yet these three gentlemen were standing in the same space and time, and they were having a natter. What's more, Elijah never actually was pronounced dead, if you remember. He was taken off fully alive to heaven in a golden chariot. Moses did die and was buried in the ground by God himself. But clearly death is no more for him. Now, we don't know if the conversation is for Moses or Elijah to cheer them up, or if it's actually for Jesus to bolster him, as he's going to have a rough time in the last week of his life. It may be for Peter, James and John to help them cope with the things that Jesus is going to say about his death and the rising from the dead. I mean, if your mate tells you that he's going to die and then rise again, you'd want a bit of proof before you can accept that. Was Jesus glowing with heavenly light on that mountain the kick that the boys needed to be able to believe these words? Who knows? Who knows? It's on my list of questions to ask when I get upstairs. I think the thing to ponder, the thing for us to take away from today, though, is a two-part thing, okay? Here we go. In Jesus, firstly, we have a leader who came back to the floor and walked around the world he had created so he could look people in the eye and say, I know what it's like to be human. And he could say it not just because humans were his idea or because he read it in his book, but because he was born into the world he created, and he has experienced it in a body just like we do. Secondly, Jesus showed us not only how to approach life, but how to approach death as well. Death is nothing to be feared when we are his friends. In the same way that he came out of the other side of death, so will we. Full stop. When we say Jesus, yes, we can think of him as the fellow who wandered around the Holy Land in sweaty sandals for 3 years a long time ago, because he did. But we must never forget that he is at the same time Jesus from that mountaintop on Transfiguration Day. If you ask him for help, he will be on it. He has all authority in heaven and on earth. He hears your every heartbeat. He feels your every breath, and he knows your hope, and he knows your pain. Jesus, he is the original back to the floor manager. And for me, it just takes the sting out of some of these days. Jesus, the original back to the floor manager. Think about that. Homework, which you're more than welcome to send me if you want to, or just use it to sort of keep your thinking going. 4 questions, as ever. Here we go. Number 1. Have you ever felt like nobody is listening or nobody cares? You ever felt like that? Just on your own, nobody's listening, nobody cares? Has that been something that you've experienced or maybe are experiencing at the moment? Number 2, what must it have been like up that mountain that day? Going up the mountain, minding their own, bang! What must it have been like to see Jesus on fire? What must it have been like? And then thereafter, what must it have been like for Peter, James and John? Number 3, does this gospel account help you to have a sort of fuller understanding, a fuller account of Jesus? He's not just beyond time and space. He's not just Jesus with, sandals. Bang, here he is, sort of two at the same time. Does this gospel account help you to have a fuller idea of Jesus? And number 4, does this passage take away the fear of death? If you did have any of that, does this passage help you with any fear of death that you might have? There we are, 4 questions. Song for today, I'll bolt on the end in a minute. It's power. There's real power available to Jesus. And there's power therefore available for us. Jesus promised he would walk with us if we're his friends, Christians. And he promised he would change us for the better from the inside out by the Holy Spirit flowing through us like a stream. He would change us from the inside out. So we're going to sing a song called Inside Out. We have sang it before, but I like it, and I think you'd like it too. From the Inside Out by Hillsong. Let's draw this time together to a close with a prayer. So hands together, close your eyes, settle yourself, and then I will pray. Dear God, thank you for Jesus, who came to earth to view life from the inside out. Thank you for the account of when he became transfigured, so that we could be assured of his power over absolutely everything. Amen. Amen. Right, team, I will see you when I will see you. Maybe you'll come to private prayer. Maybe you'll drop some homework in and I'll have a chat to you on the doorstep. Maybe you'll come to Zoom coffee. There's the quiet day. There's Just Breathe. There's things going on. And we will do as much as we possibly can, online and offline, as this pandemic works out. So keep safe. See you soon.
1,000 times I've failed, your mercy remains. And should I stumble again, I'm caught in your grace. My heart and my soul, I give you control. You consume me from the inside out, Lord. And let justice and praise become my embrace. To love you from the inside out. Consume me from the inside. inside out, Lord. Let justice and grace become my embrace, to love you from the inside out, everlasting. Your light will shine when all else fades, never ending. Your glory goes beyond all faith, and the cry of my heart is to bring you praise from the inside out of my soul. It cries out. Justice and grace, the become my embrace, to love you for me. I'll sing it again in my heart and my soul, in my heart and my soul. I give you control. Let justice and grace become my embrace, to love you from the inside out, everlasting. Your light will shine when all else fades, never ending. Your glory goes beyond all faith, and the cry of my heart is to bring you praise from the inside of my soul. You everlasting, your light will shine when all else fades. Your glory goes beyond all faith, and the cry of my heart is to bring you praise from the inside out of my soul. It cries out from the inside out of my soul. It cries out. Jesus, lift your hands to heaven in this place. If you have a song to sing, if you've experienced even a glimpse of His love, of His grace, of His mercy, His faithfulness, if you've got a song to sing, when you lift your voice and begin to sing it out, begin to lift up a shout of praise, a song of thanksgiving, and cry from the depths of your heart.